Now, hello everyone. Welcome to live day one of learning Linux from the very starting. So it's not actually the start. I have been learning Linux for around 1 week now, and now I will be just revisioning my current performance. And after a while, I will just move on from it and learn more advanced concept. So right now I am in Grasshopper level. So in case you don't know what is the Grasshopper level, it's a sort of tag that you get in this Linux journey guide. So right now I am in this level. I will be revisioning uh, in this context only, and after that we will be moving on to journeyman level, and through that all other levers. And now, mm, beside everything, we will go straight to the command line. So I have this LabEx io/learn. It's in the description too. Here we will be launching our terminal. So what is LabEx? LabEx is an online virtual machine. It's not a perfect Linux type of kernel, but it's just a simple online virtual machine. You don't have any advanced feature on it like you have in any other Linux distro. So we will be just learning here the basic level of Grasshopper. Then after we complete Grasshopper level, or in when I am able to understand Linux more deeply, I will be switching on a separate Linux window. Sorry, a separate Linux operating system that I would be installing in my PC very soon. So without further ado, let's just start learning. So how you can learn is you can come to this URL. It's in the description, and log in and just start learning over here. And now it will show you different type of things you can learn. So we are just learning Linux. So click start learning. Now when you click start learning, it will launch the terminal. So for now it's launching like this, and now you will get a bit of time. Okay, you will get a bit of time in order to do your work over here. It won't be like you won't get it for every time. It will be a specific time, about 1 hour per day or something like that. So while it is starting, so okay, it has already started and our terminal has been launched. So let's just click over here. So here you can see the basic of everything. So first of all, let's just talk about what is in this particular section. So here we are getting all the Linux history. So we will just skip this. Is Linux who created Linux kernel? I think you guys know it already. And what is Linux distro? A Linux distro basically means the OS that uses Linux kernel. So there are different type of distro such as Ubuntu, Kali Linux, Mint, and they are just based. They do certain things that any other distro can't, such as Kali Linux is mostly used for penetration, and Ubuntu is mostly used in DevOps field. So since I am going in further deep in DevOps environment, so I would be choosing Ubuntu to install in my PC. And we have Debian. Debian is also similar to Ubuntu, and Debian is actually a very quite famous and stable Linux distro. You can also see it says stable. So we have other distros also. So based on what you want to do, you can just read the description and get your Linux distro. And if you don't know what distro you would be installing, you can simply go over here and type linuxjourney.org/distro finder. Okay, so here it will just ask you a question, and based on that you will just answer, and it will give you your dedicated Linux distro. So let me just give you a quick overview. So it is asking me what will you primarily use Linux for. So here are the options. I will just click software development, and then what type of hardware do I want? Of course, I want modern, and it should be stable or balanced, whatever. And what kind of a desktop do you prefer? Modern and polish like Windows, Mac OS, traditional, lightweight, no preference. I will just go with this one. And now it has given me Ubuntu, Pop OS, and Elementary OS. As I told you that I am interested in DevOps, so I would be using Ubuntu since it's also beginning. It's very perfect for beginners who just want to switch and don't want themselves to find in another world. So Ubuntu is pretty good distro. Now we will just skip this. It's all about types of distro over here. So let me just see this 10. I haven't seen it. Let's see what it is about. What is Open SUSC? OpenSUSC is a long-running distribution known for flexibility, strong administrative tool, and multiple release option. Application for this one. So also, I will be teaching a bit of prompt engineering concept to you guys. So let me just start with how you will be using AI model for understanding more. So you ask him to be a Linux expert. Okay, so you can just type uh, pretend that you are a expert on Linux kernel and tech based on your immerse experience. Guide me through Linux like this. So now it will set itself to expert level in Linux. So it will just give me everything specific to Linux only. And now we can just ask him about anything we want, and this model will be giving us every important topic in uh, in a sort of manner that will just remove all the irrelevance content and just give us the normal as well as a specific context. So now let's just copy this and just paste it over there. Okay, now it will just give us summary for that. Give me summary of it. And now one more technique is that teach me teach a 10-year-old. If you do it like this, it will just give you a simple word. So let me just read over here. Linux operating system that is stable and reliable, flexible to version stable and always updated. Known for a powerful system tool called YAST. It is also used by people who want control organizations with strong monitoring to version of OpenAI Leap, stable school. Everything is tested and safe. Updates are slow and careful. Best for normal use and learning. People with fast school. Always get the newest first software. Updates come constantly. Best for tech lovers like latest feature. So it has two types of version. Leap is just like a stable school. It's more often like Ubuntu since everything is stable and tested. And Tumbleweed, we can also refer it like Fedora since, sorry, is it Fedora or I think it's Fedora only. Yeah, it's Fedora because Fedora always gets the latest features first. And now installing application, it is RPM package. Tools like Zipper, the control center for our Corona with which you can install software. So we can just skip this chapter, whole chapter. It's not that necessary. Now let me just go over here and Now let's just go straight to the terminal. So now we will be learning some basic command for now. I will be revisioning and you guys could, if any one of you are there, I hope nobody is there. So if anyone actually want to learn, you can learn side by side with me. So first up, we will learn basic navigation. So why basic navigation is important? Because when you are in server side, you won't be having GUI. You will be having only the terminal access, and through the CLI, you will be configuring your file, navigating, and doing other kinds of work. Not just other kinds of work, but every kind of work. So, in order to do that, you need to be able to navigate between files and folders, between users, and much more. So, we need to just learn about that. So, it's pretty simple. There are not much of commands for that. There are the simple and basic commands. So first of all, let's just know what where are we right now. So to know where are we right now, we use pwd. It will print the working directory. So you can see that I am in slash home slash labex slash project. So now what can we do is we can create a new folder in project. So we will write first, and now if we do ls, so what is ls? Ls means listing everything here. So what is present in this project directory? There is a first directory inside the project directory. And now since we have learned mkdir ls pwd, now we need to create a file too. And to create a file, you need to use touch command, touch, and then write file.txt. Now when you do that, you will be creating a new file. So as you can see, the directory project has a directory name first and a file named as file.txt. So now if I want, I could also move this file.txt inside first. So how will I do it? We will use mv command. So this will say move, it will say move file.txt to first. And now if I just click enter, it will what it will do is that it will put file.tsx into first. But if I want to rename this file.txs into a separate one, so I will rename it to file2 dot ts sorry txt. I'm saying tsx, sorry. I am a Next.js engineer. So and now just let me enter. And now if I do ls, I am seeing first, which is the directory. So in order to view what is inside the first directory, we will just do ls first and then enter. And here you can see uh, uh, it's showing me file.tsx in the bottom. So what can I do is that I can just uh, yeah, like that. Okay, so we are seeing file2.tsx. So now if I want to view what is inside the file2.txt, I will use cat command. Cat forward slash file 2.txt. Remember, we are inside project directory, not inside the first directory. Therefore, I have to write first slash file2.txt. So I enter it, and now nothing is being shown because there is absolute nothing inside the file2.txt. So let me just go inside that directory. I'm inside it. Let me do ls. So file2.txt is over here. Now what I will do is we will write inside file2.txt. So how will I write? There are different ways, but for now I will just give you the simple way, which is to use echo command. So echo, and I would say this is my first file, and let's close. Now just use an arrow and then put the file name and then click enter. So now if I want to view what's inside the file 2, so I will use cat command and file2.txt, then I will enter, and here you can see the text that we just write is now visible. Text is my first file. Now here I will also explain you another thing about this echo command. So in this echo you can see there is only one arrow. Okay, so if I put two arrow and then enter, and now if I do cat and then enter, you can see that when you use double arrow, then it will uh, append the text. It won't delete everything and rewrite, but it will append the text if you use double arrow. But if you use a single arrow, it will remove everything and rewrite. So if you want to preserve the content, use double arrow, and if you don't, you can use a single arrow. So that is how you write. Now in order to write in another way, we have separate we actually have another way to write inside our file, which is to use vim. It's a editor, or you can also use nano, which is also a simple editor, or you can use v, which is also an editor. So let me use vim. If I had to use vim, I need to install vim 2. So if I just do it like this and click enter, okay, so it means that vim is already installed in this by default. So you can just what you can do is, I will just show you how you can write inside the file using vim. So at initial phase, using vim is very hard, since it is not like a normal word. It uses different mode. So there are, in total there are three modes. First is normal mode, second is visual, and third is insert mode. So in order to type text, we need to be inside the insert mode. And to be inside the insert mode, I need to click I. So I click I. Now I can insert or manipulate things over here. This is my, sorry. So this is file edited using vim editor. So now I have wrote something here. Now in order to save it, I need to first go to the normal mode, and then I have to type something. Okay, so in order to go to normal mode, right now we are in insert mode. So if I press ESC, then I will go to the normal mode. I click ESC, and as you can see that over here there was insert, but now that insert text is gone, which means that we are now in normal mode. So in order to go back to insert mode, I click I again. So now you can see I am inside the insert mode. Now in order to escape from this, I need to click ESC or escape key. So now I am in normal mode. Now in order to save this, what I need to do is I need to write W and Q. It means save and quit. So if you want to just save, you can use W. If you want to quit, you can use Q. And if you want to save and quit, you can do WQ. So I entered. Now if I again view the content, so you can see it says this is my first file, this is file edited using Vim editor, and it's the same text that we just edited inside the Vim. So now you know the basic of Vim on how to write text, how to update text, and how to save and quit. And now that's all about Vim for now. You don't need to learn Vim this fast. Now let's learn something else. Okay, so let's again I will use Vim. Okay, so now I'm inside Vim. I will go to the insert. Now I will insert something. Okay, so I'm inserting random stuffs. So I have inserted random stuff. Now I will go to normal mode using escape, and I will use WQ to save and quit. Now, now let's see the content. So as you can see that we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are getting 11 lines. So now in order to get minimal lines, okay, we can use head tail. So if you use head slash n and the number of line you want to display, which is 2, and the file name. Now when you enter this, you will get the first two line of the file. Now in order to get the last two line, you can use tail command, tail slash n, and I will use 3 file 2.txt, and you can see we are getting the last three lines of the text. Now there is something we can do with this file, and that is to sort it. So how am I going to sort? You can use sort and type the file name and click enter. Now you can see uh, that the text has been sorted by alphanumerical value. So you can see 0, 1, 3, and then the alphabets. And alphabets are also sorted based on what comes first. But and if you see that why is T coming before S, it's because T is in capital, and capital takes the higher priority than the small one. So this is everything about Vim for now. Now let's clear this terminal. So you can use clear to just uh, delete. It's not delete, you can just clean up your terminal. Now why I am saying that we are not deleting it, because if I type history command and click enter, you can see that every command that we wrote is now visible. So this is about why I said that you can't delete using clear. So you can actually delete it. So in order to delete it, you can just delete the bash. There is a file inside the bash that saves every history. So you need to clear that file in order to delete your history. So we are not going to do that. We will be doing that when we will be using our actual virtual machine, or we will be switching in Linux environment, and then we will do that stuff. Okay, so now since we learn about basic commands, so now we will be learning some more basic command. So now let me just explain you about users. Okay, so there are two types of user. One is the normal user and another is the root user. There is also one more type which is the system user, and this system or service user is basically the user that handles software. So they are not particularly people, it's the software. So there will be basically two user, normal user and root user. So what is a root user? Root user is someone who has permission for everything, and normal user are those user who are restricted based on permission. So root user can access the core files and folders inside the Linux, but normal user can't. So let's see which user we are. So I will go here and type hash. So what does hash do? It will just comment this out. So if I click enter, nothing will show. It's just commenting. Okay. Now if I just do history, then it will also show that we use this, and this is just a comment, nothing else. So now if I type id, so you can see uid 500 LabEx group id 5000 groups 5027 sudo, and some sort of information is being shown. Now now let me explain you about a sort of directory on how Linux is organized. So we'll just use any drawing tool, okay? And drawing tool, uh, there was Xscalia, right? Xscalia draw. Let me use this. Okay. So over here, let me give you a proper demonstration. Okay. So let's just start with. So first there is a slash directory. Slash directory defines what's inside our system. Okay. So with slash, uh, inside slash uh, there are various other folders such as a home, root, user, dev, and much more. Now inside this we can get all the users. So the home the home often comes with all the users, such as this is user 1, this is user 2, this is user 3, this is user 4, this is user 5. So every user is within the home directory. And let me show you this in command. Okay, so let me type ls. Let me go to cd slash. Now I will do ls. Now you can see there are multiple files, sorry, there are multiple directories, and I will explain what each of the directory means. So let me explain you with bin. So bin is a directory that has scripts and executable files while installing any application, only for normal users. So if you install any package, then it will have the scripts of that package inside that directory, which is the bin. And there is home. You can see that in here I said that home has all the users. Okay, so let me just go inside this home. I'm inside the home now, and if I do ls, It says LabEx. So what does LabEx means? LabEx is a user. So you can see you can see what type of user it is. Uh, I will say this. Okay. So here this D means directory. Okay. D means directory. We are inside the home, and this is created by uh, everything inside this belongs to the user LabEx, which is a member of a group that names is LabEx, and the permission is read, write, execute. So how we can, I will explain this like this. Okay. So over here, so it says D read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. Okay. So there are basically three types of field for permission. And if you are talking about directory, there will be D. If you are talking about file, then there will be this. Okay. Minus sign. Now there are three fields. So this first field is for the one who created. The one who created has all the permission, which is to read, which is to write, and which is to execute. And this, the second one is for the members of the group in which the user belongs. So those member will also get read, write, and execute. And this is for those users who are not in the group and who are not the prime user who created this. So they will be having read, write, execute. So if they don't have any permission, suppose other users have no permission of read and write, then it will be like this, it will be shown like this. So in here you can see that this is a directory, and the normal and the LabEx user has access to read, write, and execute. The members of the LabEx group have only read and execute. They can't write, and other user can't even read, nor execute, nor write. Okay, so that is how we define permissions. So now let me just create a file. Okay, over here, let me create it like this. Okay, let me have touch, and let me write lab.txt. So it says permission denied, so I will use sudo command. Let me type lab.txt, type enter. Now if I do ls, then it has actually made a file named lab.tsx, sorry, txt. So why did I use sudo? So sudo actually means that if I write sudo and any other command, then it means that I now have admin privilege. Now the command, now the Linux kernel will treat me like admin. So it will execute any command that admin can. The fact that I am not an admin, but I have still been granted by a sudo access. It means that the admin trusts this user, which is why he is giving the sudo command privilege to this user. So that is all about sudo. Any user can have sudo command. If that user has a sudo command, then he can execute the scripts. And if the user don't have the sudo command, he can't execute all the script. He is limited to certain types of script only. Sorry, certain types of command only. So that is about sudo. So now, why did I create lab.txt? To show you that, let's see here, the LabEx. What is inside the home? There is a LabEx directory. There is a lab.tsx. So LabEx, which is a directory, is shown as D. And who created this D? Sorry, who created this LabEx? LabEx user created this thing, this folder, and the group that belongs, sorry, and this directory belongs to the group named labx2. And now the file that we just created, which is lab.txt, was created by root. Why root? Because we use sudo command. Whenever you use sudo command, it linux treat is like admin has given the command, since sudo has the same equal privilege as admin. So now the labx user is treated as admin because of the sudo command. Therefore, the owner of that file lab.txt is now root, and root belongs to root group. And we have, what permission do we have? What permission does the root have? It has read, write, but not execute. What permission does members of root group have? They have read only, and other user also have read only. So this is how you set, not set. This is how you see the permission for any file and directory, and this is how you create any other. This is how you use sudo command. So now, let's talk about. So it says, so now it says that our uh, terminal will get expired in just 5 minutes. So what we will be doing is, let me show you before we quit. Okay, so now I will use init 0. What it does, that it just log outs, sorry, it just shut down our computer, but we can't use it in this virtual machine. So let me like see what other thing we have over here. So you can see there is close window. Let's just close window, close window. Okay, so now you can see that it's actually similar to window. Okay, we have also GUI interface in Linux doesn't mean that it is just CLI based, but there is a catch. When you use Linux on server, there is no GUI. Why? Because GUI is very heavy, and in server, where every space, every thing matters, you can't waste your space on GUI. So therefore, we have only command line interface in uh, server side. Okay, and you can also see that there is a Zim. Sorry, there is a Vim editor, there is virtual code. Okay, and click on application. Now here, before this expire, let me just type uname a. What it does, that it will tell what type of computer we are using, what type of OS we are using. So you can just see it's the Linux. Okay, this is the Linux, and it is using Ubuntu. So why did I say it Ubuntu? Because we are learning based on DevOps and network. Okay, so Ubuntu is very beginner friendly. Therefore, you can get resources of Ubuntu much more quicker than any other distro. So I didn't know that this LabEx uses Ubuntu, but since now you can get a clear idea on why Ubuntu is best for learning, because everything uses Ubuntu in beginner phases. So why this LabEx has Ubuntu? Because it's easier for beginner to learn. So let me close this again. Now let's just see what other thing we have. We have mail reader, file manager. We can nobody uses GUI in Linux except just normal user. Okay. So let me see what are there. There are very there are some minors. There are minor programs and software over here. Nothing more special. System. So since our machine will get expired now, so let me just quit it. Okay, by our own. Just quit. Okay. So now we will be using our own machine. Okay, we will be using virtual machine. So how will we use virtual machine? So basically there are two famous virtual machine. Okay, virtual machine provider. First one is VMware. Okay, you can use VMware and configure it and install any kind of OS. Okay, you can also install Android too. You can also install Linux, Windows, everything you can just install, which is the first one. And another is VirtualBox. Okay, VirtualBox by Oracle. So now I have this one installed already. So I will be using VirtualBox, and inside my VirtualBox there is Ubuntu installed. So we will be using that one. Let me just quit over here. Let me so we did this thing. Okay, let's go to command line. Let's see what we have done. We did pwd, we did cd, we did ls, touch, file. We didn't do that, it's not necessary, but let's just learn what it is. So you can see in previous we learned touch, called file banana dot. To find out what kind of file a file is, you can use file command. It will show you a description of the file content, so you can easily guess what file command does. If I just click it over here, let's see what happens. I think this has already expired. So if it regenerate, then we will be using this again. Okay, otherwise we will be shifting to the virtual machine for now. Now let's just sit. Okay, I think it will just reset everything that we just write, like all the files and all, and it will just restart the server, or maybe it won't. It will give us time limit exceeded, something type of error. So aside from file, we have less. Okay, so we learned about head and tail, but we didn't learn about less or more. Okay, well, let's just see what less does. When viewing text files that are too large to fit on a single screen, the less command is an invaluable tool, as the more Unix says less is more. This is play on a, so you can get the idea that it will be showing less amount of content, and when you click enter, it will like it will show more content. So you click enter, one line will come out, more line. So like that you will be learning. Okay, let me just do one thing. Okay, let me just do ls. So do we have a new one? So we don't have anything over here. Let me just create a file. Okay, just file.txt. Now we will just use this. Okay, 3. Now let's see what we have over here. So we have thing over here. Okay, So now if I type less file.txt, so you can see there is nothing. Okay, since there is nothing much, let me create a bit of more content. Now let me just put it to file.txt. Now if we use cat command, okay, so you can see everything has been printed out. We don't want that, since look at this, it's just messed up. So you can just use less and type file. Now when you click enter, see, we are getting content one line at a time, like this, like this, like this. So it has ended. So when it ends, you type q to exit from this. Okay, and now let me show you one important command, which is the man command. Man means manual. Okay, so whenever you enter man and then write any command, okay, so it will give you description of that command. So like you can see, it's now giving me the description of the less command. So let's see what we can learn from this. Okay, can just enter, then you can just go below. So it's giving me a description. uh, 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 uh. So this is just giving me sort of description, but if I want, I will just chat gpt it. We don't need much much of it for now. So let me quit it again. So we were talking about file command. So file will describe what type of file it is. So it is saying that file.txt is an ASCII text, which is the ASCII text, and it's absolutely correct. So let me like, let's create some more file and see what it says. Okay, ss.mp3. Now let's type and ss, enter. So it says empty because there is absolutely nothing. It doesn't works based on mp3, I guess. So let me type something else. Okay, dots banana remember dot jpg. Okay, let enter, and let's file. It's just saying that this is empty because we don't have any content here. Okay, so there was a command that uh, that could just download things. uh, I'm not sure what it is. Okay, linux command to download file from url. Okay, so this was a command. So let me see which, what is it. Okay, yeah, w get. Okay, so we will use image penguin, and now let me copy it. Let's see if we can paste it or not. Duplicate, it doesn't allow us to paste. Okay, that is something that I don't want. So let me just do one thing. I will go here and give me a simple url that is of image. Okay, let's open the link first. Okay, we have this command. Okay, so what was the http does pick some photos. Okay, https such as pick some dot photos, pick some dot photos slash 4000 slash 4123 4000 or 400. It was 400. Okay? So a minor error. May enter. So you can see that it's doing some process, and if you want to show what it is doing, you can add hyphen v. Okay, so when you add hyphen v, it will show you how we are getting this. So I will show you in just a bit after this command will be executed. So let's see if it will get executed. I have tried this for the first time since I am also beginner. So let's see what will happen. I'm clicking enter. I hope something happens. Oh, let's see other command. Okay, history command we didn't use copy command, right? We use move command, but copy command also works similar to the mb command. So you need to just click cp and then sorry, you need to type cp and then you will write your file name and the new location for that file, and that will just copy the file from that old location to the new one. And we have the mkdir to make directory. We just did that. We have rm command. Rm command is used to remove the files, and there is also a rmdir, and rmdir is used in order to delete the empty directories. So let's see what does rm do. Okay, IAM means remove command, a fundamentally a utility for managing a file system. Understanding the RM command for deleting files and directory. However, its power comes with a significance and risks. Unlike graphical users, Linux does not have a recycle bin or trash can for command line deletion. Once you use RM, the files are permanently gone. So there is also a RF flag. Okay, so whatever comes after a hyphen is considered as flag. So we have flag A. Flag A means all. Okay. So and we have flag F, that means force. So let's see about RF. You must be extremely cautious when using RM. This is especially true for the Linux command, a combination which can recursively and forcefully delete files without any confirmation prompts. A small typo with this command could lead to catastrophic data loss. So what is RF flag? Okay, so whenever you see flag with more than one letter, it means that the flag is being combined with another flag. So you can also write rm hyphen r hyphen f, or you can also write rm hyphen rf. So what does this flag means? Okay, so hyphen r means to check every file, every folder inside a particular folder. So you can see rmrf linux here. So it says that rm remove, and hyphen r means everything inside that linux folder. R flag will delete everything inside the linux folder. If you don't use r, then it will just remove like the outermost layer. It will it will actually give you error saying that the file is not empty, sorry, that the folder is not empty. If you use r, which means recursion, then it will delete everything. And f means force. So anything like when you are in window, when you want to delete a particular folder, it says that it is being used in anything, we can't delete this, we don't have any permission, something like that. But if you use f flag, then it will just forcefully delete everything. You don't have to like, you don't get prompts uh, to confirm that you need to delete that file or not. You will, it will just delete everything, and since there is no recycle bin in linux, your file are gone. So this says the same thing, and there are other facts like I. For a safer approach, use the interactive flag. This is a highly recommended practice when working with RM Linux command. I flag prompts you to confirmation before deleting each file. So you can use I flag in order to get the confirmation. Removing directories by default, RM cannot delete a directory. To do so, you must use recursive option. RM to delete directory and all of its content. Anyhow, use RMDR. Just like I said, RMDIR is for empty one, and RM is for the files, for the folder which has files inside it, and you want to delete each one of them. So we have done MV, MKDIR, RM. Let's see if that image copying has been done. So it says connection time out. So no, let me just quit this process. So why not just let's see. We have let me create a folder and practically let's use rm command. Okay, so mkdir, let me write a folder name. Let's write day1. Let's go, let's touch and make a new file.jpg. Let me click again and jpg. Now if I want to view, you can use ls day1 and see we have file.jpg, file.jpg. So now let's do rmdir day1. What will it say? It will give us an error saying that directory is not empty. Now since directory is not is not empty and we can't use rmdir, so we will be using rm command. So rm, so as we just discussed that rm can't delete the folders, we will use r flag. So when we have r flag, it will recursively delete everything from the folder. And if I type enter, everything is gone. If I type ls, so you can see that day1 folder doesn't exist. Now let me create day1 folder again. Let me write uh, so now we made mkdir, we make a day1 folder, and inside that we will be making a pnc. mm, record with 3. So we have different thing. Now if I do ls a1, so you can see we have 3 things. Okay, haha is a folder and 2 are the files. Now if I write rmi day1, let's see what it does. I type enter. Cannot remove day1 is a directory. So sorry, we need to use r also. Okay, so you can use ri, or you can use like this also. Since I told you that rm by itself can't remove directory, so we need to use it r command, and we need to use I command to, sorry, I flag, in order to get a confirmation. Type enter. Now it says, do you want to delete? I type y and enter. Y enter. Y enter. Y enter. Y enter. And this to ls. Now see, everything is gone. So this is how you remove everything. Now let's see another command. Now let's go to find. Okay, so find, with countless files on a system, it can be challenging to locate a specific one. Fortunately, there's powerful utility we can use. It is find. And now let's skip this. Now see what it is. Actually, the basic syntax for find command find path expression. You must specify the directory to source in and criteria for what you are looking for. For example, to search for a file name puppies.jpg within the home name. Okay, so it's pretty easy. So we will use mkdir. Let me create mkdir. Let me create two. Okay, now touch d2 d2 slash it's png. Okay, now we need to search that. So in order to search that, to specify we need to specify uh, the location first. So we will be specifying in slash home. Since if you don't want to specify, it will specify it by itself into the current working directory. And now you can just okay type name and host.png. Okay, it's just one icon. Okay, let's go over here and delete this one. Enter. So it is now showing us the path for host.png. So it has sourced our path for the host.png file. So that is how it works. And now let's see, searching by name and type. One of the most common use for find command is to search a file name. As in the mode name option allows that. So type D, it will specify the directory. If you don't use type D, then it will specify the file. I guess so. Or instead you want to find directory instead of file, you can use D. Okay, I was right. So it's okay. And now this is help command. Help command is similar to man. You can just see everything for a specific command. Man, again the same, but man has a bit more than help. Now let's see what is. Let's see what is. So what is the what is command in Linux? What is command in Linux displays a concise one-line description of command directly from its manual. So it will just specify a summary of one line. What is mkdir? Let's see. It says mkdir make directories, create a directory. Let's say what is ping. Ping send ICMP echo request to network host. So what is ping command? Let me just show you. Ping command is very a cool command. Uh, I forgot the syntax for it. Let me just actually okay, give me syntax for ping command. Uh, 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 ping google.com. Okay, ping google.com, pin and IP address, number of packet. So you can like say ping google.com. It says we it is giving me packages. Right now, there was this command. Okay, I have wrote something ready to ping. So it's not this one command. Ping. What is our username? LabEx, right? So it needs to send something. Okay, we can't use that in this online virtual machine. So we will skip this ping command for now. What it does that when you use ping and username, it will send a request from your computer, from your virtual machine, back to your virtual machine. So it will work like that. It will act as how packets are sent from one end to another end. you need to learn about OIS, OSI, sorry, OSI commands, OSI model that we learned back in the school. So based on that, it will show you how packet gets transferred and what are the success rate for transferring of that package. Now let's go. What we were learning, we were learning what is, right? What is man? Sorry, what is man? Man, an interface to the system reference manual. So you basically know about what is now. So let me teach you a bit of commands you can use from Echo. So if you use Echo user, it will print out the user who is right now active, and that is LabEx. Now, if you type echo echo home, it will print your home directory of your current user. So you can use echo with different type of things. uh, Sorry, UID. Okay, not its ID, right? So let me. So it's saying our user is 5,000, right? But 5,000 is actually for, I think it has some sort of, anything above 1,000 is considered as normal user. Okay, so this is actually a normal user. LabEx is a normal user, and and since I have sudo privilege, okay, let me sudo su. Okay, so now you can see that I am now a admin. So what does sudo su means? Su means switch user. So now I have switched to the admin, or you can say I am a root user now. So if I type echo and user, it will print out root. Now let me see the, yes, okay. Now if I, let me just do ls, okay. Now let me do cat etc slash pass wd and enter. You can see that there are multiple users. These are all are the system users. Okay, you can see MongoDB, MySQL, Redis, and we have our normal user which is LabEx. And if I go up, you can see I have a root user too. Root user too. So there are multiple users. The users with UID of 0 is considered as a used is considered as a root user. So you can see there is 0 over here, which means that this particular user is a root user. And if I go over to LabEx, it says 5,000. And what does 5,000 means? Anything, any UID above 1,000 is considered as a normal user. LabEx is a normal user. Anything between 1 to 200 is user based on Red Hat. Anything above 201 to 999 is considered as system user. So you can see that MongoDB has 999, which means that it is a system user for MongoDB package, and Redis 114, which means that it is a system user for Redis. Now, since we learned multiple information Let also I will teach you about pinfo and ktir. It will give you it's similar to man, but okay, I can't use it over here, but it will behave like man and give colorful output. Okay, so now I guess this is enough for today. Today's live stream is enough for this. Now we will be continuing our live stream tomorrow, and we will be going deep dive into permission and file ownership and users. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you, everybody. This is day one of learning Linux.